Hi, Taylor.
Hey, Sean, and welcome everyone. We're going to answer some equipment finance FAQs for you today. So to start us out, my name is Taylor McDonough, and I am a vendor relationship manager here at Great America Financial. And really my goal day to day is to enable technology buyers to get into new equipment today seamlessly via a monthly payment option. And then as for Great America Financial Services is a 30-year-old family-owned and privately held equipment finance company headquartered in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Our technologies division was actually born in the IT channel and built specifically for technology buyers. And we really pride ourselves on developing finance solutions specific to the needs of our technology buyers. So Sean, I'll ask you this. Why does New Charter Technologies partner with a third-party finance company like Great America?
Great question. As technology continues to advance at incredibly fast rates, a lot of the businesses need to keep up with that. Especially over the past few years, the amount of technology needed, especially for people working remotely, has really changed. And there's some really great tax write-offs with it. And also, with all the changes coming so quickly, a lot of clients either didn't budget or don't have the budget, and financing allows them to actually put what they need in place to streamline their business and hopefully be more profitable.
Absolutely. And we're going to get into a lot of those points today during the FAQ session as well.
So, what is equipment financing and why would our clients be looking into financing their equipment?
Absolutely. So my answer is really short and sweet, but equipment financing fundamentally really allows technology buyers to pay for their technology investment over time versus all up front. And to your next point, why should end users consider financing their technology versus buying it and owning it? So there's a few cases where outright buying your equipment might make sense. But to Sean's point originally, at the rate that technology is evolving, you may end up owning an obsolete system. So there's a few questions that I would ask yourself to determine if financing is right for you. And the first one is, how else can you use your cash or credit lines? So many companies use cash to hire new employees, invest in marketing, future growth opportunities, or even unforeseen circumstances like we've seen historically, like the pandemic or recessionary times. So that's the first option. And then second question I'd ask is, are you prepared to make another capital investment to upgrade the system in 3 to 5 years? So what I mean by that is that financing puts you on a monthly budget. And then by the time the system is outdated, you'll actually be able to upgrade an already budgeted item and then keep a comparable monthly payment. And then another thing I'll add, just because this is pretty relevant right now, is that with inflation continuing to soar, financing is a really easy way to hedge against inflation. And so simply put, you'll get into the newest technology and pay today, and then pay it back with tomorrow's dollar of lesser value.
That's a great point. So how does someone get into financing? And how long does the process normally take? I'll admit, you guys make it really easy for us. That's why we decided to work with Great American. I know you walk our clients through the process, and I've seen you guys do it within a day, 2 days.
Yeah, really good question. So in many instances, like you said, we've had a partner reach out to obtain financing for their client, and we were able to get the finance agreement signed and booked in half a day or a day, really depending upon the total transaction size. And so the turnaround time can be really quick, and we try to make the process as painless and straightforward as possible. And so to kind of give an overview, there are a few steps to booking a transaction. The first starting with the credit approval process. And so once the client is credit approved, we'll work up a 1 to 2 page finance agreement for them to sign. And then after we receive the signed agreement back, we'll just place a quick verification call to them just to confirm they're ready to commence the agreement. And then from there, we'll get it booked.
Wow. I've seen it firsthand, so
Yep.
I know how quick I know how quick that process can go. Do you have any minimums in regards to what you're able to finance?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and one that I just saw in my email inbox this morning. So it's something that's asked all the time. We typically recommend to look at financing on projects about $3,000 and above, just because sometimes anything under $3,000 doesn't make a ton of financial sense. But there have been circumstances when we've gone down to under 1,000.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
it's really just dependent upon the situation, but we typically recommend anywhere from $3,000 and above. And then as for maximums, we've financed transactions into the millions before. It'll all just be dependent upon the credit worthiness. But yeah, anywhere from 3K and above is typically what we recommend.
Now, what type of equipment can be purchased? Well, financed.
Yep, great question again. So really anything that's connected to the network. So think of computers, IT infrastructure, networking, phone systems, pro AV, physical security, and then surveillance as well. And then something that actually surprises people is the fact that we're able to finance soft costs. So think of software licensing and upfront labor and implementation. And so when you think about it, this is a pro of going through a third-party finance company, as most banks or manufacturers are going to be really reluctant to financing those soft costs like software and labor. But we can really bundle everything that's on the proposed solution into a single monthly payment.
Awesome. Now, what's a typical contract length or options that you offer for financing?
Absolutely. So we have really flexible terms, with most of our contracts being written between 12 and 60 months. We can go 12, 24, 36, 48, and 60. Typically, we recommend to align the length of the finance agreement with the usable life of the technology. So for example, if you typically recommend to upgrade a client's PCs every 4 years, you might lean toward a 48-month agreement, as it creates a really ideal scenario at the end of 4 years, because you come to the end of your agreement and the equipment comes to the end of its life as well. And then you just swap it out for new and then continue making a similar payment that's already baked into your monthly budget.
Great. And the question we get a lot is, how much money does the client need to put down?
Yep. So we actually don't require a down payment. Once we book the transaction, we'll send out the invoice, with the first one being due in 30 days. And then from there, the end user will continue making fixed monthly payments throughout the length of the contract, but nothing is actually due up front, which makes it really easy to roll into new technology without taking a hit to your cash reserve.
Okay. And are there any fees or charges that we should be aware of before, signing into, leasing options?
Yeah. So at Great America, we know we're in the business of trust and know how frustrating it can be seeing unknown or hidden fees pop up out of nowhere. So on the finance agreement that you're going to sign, you can expect to see two things outlined. First is the one-time origination fee of $89.50. That will be on the very first invoice, and then won't see it again. And then second is an insurance charge, as we'll just want to, as we require the equipment be insured. But that said, if the lessee can actually provide proof of insurance, then we'll get that charge taken off there. And aside from that, there are no hidden fees or additional charges that your client will see. We actually have a truth in leasing statement that our founder and CEO, Tony Golubich, actually wrote and signed himself. That's really a promise to the fair leasing practices that we uphold for technology buyers.
Okay. What happens to the equipment at the end of the client's lease?
Yep. So this will really depend on the type of agreement that we set up on the front end and the goals that you and the client have for what happens to the equipment at the end of the agreement. And so there are finance options that allow the customer to take ownership of the equipment, return the equipment, continue renting the equipment, and to upgrade into new gear. It's super flexible, but we really tend to see that clients want to refresh into new gear at the end of their agreement, as it's likely reached the end of its usable life. So during initial conversations, we'll walk through these options and then set up an agreement that's right for them and their business.
Okay. Now, what if somebody's in a current lease and with the way technology is changing, they're looking to potentially make a change sooner, 2 years into their 3-year lease? Is that something that you can also help with?
Yep, that's easy. If a client is in another lease with another financial institution, but wants to utilize Great America, we can look into refinancing what's left on their agreement, and then we'll get them set up as a partner with Great America and get those monthly payments rolling. But yeah, it's simple and something that we do all day long.
Awesome. Well, this was some great information, and I thank you for taking time to talk with us about it. We love working with Great American, and you guys make it easy, and that's the biggest thing is our clients always say, wow, that was one of the easiest leasing processes we've ever had. And that's what makes us keep coming back. So thank you again.
Awesome. Well, we love to hear that, Sean, and thanks so much for watching, everyone. And please reach out to New Charter if you have any more questions or to get things rolling.
Sounds great.